The SCP Foundation is no stranger to the internet. With its ongoing popularity, many animations are made based off of the series, especially in the form of a show of their own, one of the most famous of which is Confinement by Lord Bung, while others are more infamous, such as the case of The Rubber, which is well known for being a content farm in Malaysia. But what if I told you that among the thousands of animations on the internet, one SCP series stands out to me as being an underrated gem of the group? Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you all to SCP, The End is Near, and End of Civilization. I was a fan of the SCP Foundation ever since I was 15 years old. And to those who don't know what it is, I'll give an explanation. The SCP Foundation is a fictional organization dedicated to protecting humanity from the various kinds of threats of the unknown by containing them and classifying them as various kinds of containment classes based on their threat level. Some SCPs do work for the Foundation, and there are various kinds of sites that are located all throughout the world, such as Site-17, Site-19, etc. Additional things about SCP include its tales, clearance cards, the O5 Council, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I won't be really getting into because of how long this would take. So instead, let's just dive right into the video subject. Joining YouTube on March 18th, 2016, a YouTuber known as Don Jendens would begin his animations. Starting to make videos using a program app called Flip-A-Clip, which is the same animation toolkit I use for my own videos, he would make more SCP animations to the point where he would release a trailer announcing the series on July 15th, 2018. Part 1 would be created on October 7th of 2018, and the series would progress until May 25th of 2020, with End of Civilization being announced sometime later that year, but eventually getting cancelled after a few years of production. But why? Well, we're gonna get to its cancellation later. For now, I'm gonna try to summarize both series. This series is gonna be an hour long combined, so I'm gonna do my best to summarize all of it as best as I can. So apologies if I miss out a few details or some parts are skipped. We are first introduced to our main protagonist, Logan Bristow, as he has an encounter with SCP-990 in his dreams. 990 then tells Logan that there's something to be delivered, a message, that if ignored, would result in the end of our race as we know it. He then shows Logan what appears to be that of the future, several SCPs lying dead, crippled, and destroyed. 035 then says to Logan, "Your Foundation could have done better. Please release us before we end up like this." After waking up from his nightmare, he encounters the next main character, Tyshawn Marshall, who agrees with Logan to take him to Dr. Bright's office. Tyshawn asks Logan why he wants to meet with him, with Logan saying that it's something important. After a minor self-insert in the elevator, they arrive at Dr. Bright's office, only to encounter the next character, Barry, who wanted to give Bright a document, but Barry responds that Bright has to go home to get something. We then cut to a place called Precio, where we see Dr. Bright reacting to memes in a traffic jam. Then lastly, Alana Waltz, who wanted to show him a little figure of SCP-173. After being questioned about why he came to Dr. Bright's office, Logan then blatantly says that he wants to release the creatures.
What the fuck?
Alana begins to argue with Logan that something like that would be a very bad idea, with Logan saying that he has to do it because, well, 990 is never wrong, with Alana still not believing him. But then...
SCP-682 just broke out at Gate B. I want all available helicopters and NTF units at Gate B now.
SCP-682 apparently breaks out of containment, and the Gate Guardian, Uriel, one of the 001 proposals, also breaks out. Alana finally agrees with Logan to release the creatures, and after an X-Men Apocalypse reference, they get into the control room and release the creatures, causing a massive containment breach. Then, violence and mayhem breaks loose, as aside from 682, a total of 11 other SCPs break loose, killing the guards in the process.
Hi.
049 thanks Logan for what he did and lets him leave. Cut to Gate B, where we see these three guys also prepared to fight 682. 999 contains 096 by placing a bag over his head, and Dr. Bright calls Logan about the current situation at Precio, and Dr. Bright saying that the Gate Guardian breached containment. We also see that 811 and 2662 also breached containment, nearly getting blown up by a plane and ending up hitting 106 instead. 2662 kills the guy that tried to terminate them, Tom Cruise reference, and 070 killing some guards before letting one go. The guards fail to contain 682, 682 kills a guard, and Sandro and 682 have a conversation, with 682 saying that they all gotta do what they can to escape. After throwing a grenade in 682's mouth, Sandro leaves, and the SCPs are alerted that the entire site of Site-19 is gonna be detonated by the Alpha Warhead. Excluding 999, 173, and 096, 682 manages to get 372 to get all the other SCPs in the site to get out. After we see the main four leave, 682 then instructs all the other SCPs to get under him. 049 is confused by this, wondering why 682 is helping them, and that he might have some sort of plan in mind. The warhead goes off, and 682 shields the other SCPs from getting blasted. Somehow Larry got earbuds, but eventually he agrees to get them out of there. Sandro and the main four also escape, and the SCPs arrive in what appears to be a grassy field. 682 is seen to be extremely damaged, but is still alive. We then cut to a time before the containment breach, where we're introduced to these two, Lucas Thompson and Iris Thompson, both of whom are siblings. While eating breakfast, Iris tells Lucas to keep his ability a secret, and given her experience with the Foundation, they would either take his gift, weaponize him, or lock him up in general. Lucas obeys and he leaves to go to school for the day. We then see Lucas going through his normal school life, getting bullied in class, failing to get a girl, not having great grades, you know, typical stuff. Middle school for me was a nightmare, by the way. On his way home, he notices that there's something wrong going on with the bank. This is where we learn of his properties. His ability to sense danger, and his, well, I mean, it's kind of obvious by the middle name. Lucas made a debut in an animation meme video by Dawn based off the series, where not only has a different appearance, but it's also confirmed by the creator that he was based off the character Quicksilver. He stops a bank robbery, he throws away the bomb, and kills the robbers before the police could come. Little did he know that the security cameras caught all of his abilities. The same ones that Iris told him not to let anybody else know. We head to Area 354, where we meet another character that's also a friend of Logan. They have a talk about SCP-354, and it's still acknowledged that Dr. Bright is missing, with Marshall sending a bunch of MTFs to try to find him. After containing the previous SCPs, Marshall and Barry meet up with Alana, chillin' with some harmless SCPs. Marshall makes fun of Barry by getting scared by SCP-999, with Alana reassuring Barry that 999 is not that dangerous, and tells him to pet him. Although, in return, he gets...
What the fuck?
Now it's 2 in the morning. 173 tries to snap 096's neck multiple times, but that only pisses him off, makes him punch 173 and escape his containment. Awakened by this, Logan goes to see what was going on, and is shocked to see 096 has escaped. Him and Barry then try to find a way to get around him so they don't end up triggering him, though Barry accidentally trips over and ends up looking at 096's face.
Run, bitch! Run!
You're never gonna make it. You're not good enough.
Barry and Logan are then saved by 999, who arrives at the nick of time to stop 096. For some reason, Marshall is carrying a banana, and gets the news about what's going on in Precio as of now. Bright still hasn't been found, and they haven't recontained the Gate Guardian, and it's only getting worse as the SCPs from before that escaped Site-19 with the help of 682 are all fighting each other. Marshall says he needs to go there, but Logan tries to tag along, doing it only because he wants to find Bright. Marshall gives Logan a tracking device to help find Bright, but other SCPs on the way. Meanwhile, Lucas and Iris then notice the news. Iris asks Lucas if he's going there. Lucas says that he's afraid of the Foundation, but Iris tells him that they already know about him anyway since the bank robbing incident, and to also show that he's on the good side. Meanwhile, we see all the other SCPs battling 682, getting their asses whooped, whipped from the sky, and getting beaten by 079, who for some reason has a full body now. Okay? And it's also revealed that he's still on 682's side. He tries to unmask SCP-049 as an attempt to kill him, but ends up hearing something from the distance. Lucas! 049 then tells Lucas to go help the others, which he does, racing through the destroyed city of Precio, kicking an SCP-610 instance in the face, and meeting up with SCP-372. 372 tries to attack Lucas, but 049 then tells 372 to stop and that he's on their side. And the two work together to beat more 610 instances. We then see the Gate Guardian fighting this giant demon guy, and then we see Logan finally finding Bright, watching memes with a 6110 person who is apparently his friend called Bob. Logan and Bright fight about taking him to the site, and then Logan kills Bob, and takes Bright with him. After which they leave Precio, which gets obliterated by Uriel. Lucas and 372 are in Egypt because they escaped, and all the other SCPs are fine. Somehow. Including, unfortunately, of course, 682. Who then tries to kill Abel, but Larry steps in to stop him, and then sends him to his pocket dimension. Larry then impales 682 with a tentacle, and also removes his ability to regenerate, as this dimension is his world now. Larry then proceeds to beat the ever-living shit out of 682, and is then striked by a beam from a satellite by the Foundation, thinking that Larry was helping 682 escape. While all this chaos is going on, another SCP notices this. SCP-179, who flies to Earth, gets her hair cut, and stops the fight between Uriel and the Devil. After which he then joins the fight against 682. Only to unfortunately lose 682 in the ocean. 079, despite all the carnage, still somehow is alive, only to be killed off. Now up to part 11. Before we get to episode 11, we see that SCP-682 reports to none other than, spoiler alert, the Scarlet King, who tells him about the bad news that he failed to kill them all, and the good news is that he's getting closer to someone who he refers to by her. Who the Scarlet King tells 682 that, by killing them, everyone would be gone anyway. But what does this mean? Who is she? And why would everyone be gone if she dies? Well, all of that will be answered in the next part. After collecting Bright, they head back to Area 354 to start up a meeting, with Logan questioning why Kane Pathos Crow is a dog. 682 seemed to have escaped after the pocket dimension was hit by the HID turret, and because the Alpha Warhead destroyed the tracking device, 682's current location is unknown. The last time 682 was last seen was in the Atlantic Ocean, reported by some local fishermen. Upon seeing this, one of the researchers, Kane Pathos Crow, instructs Logan to move the image to the right, finding a location called Site-01, and that he's going to kill her. This is where we learn who her really is. The second Gate Guardian, or Spencerula, and this is where we're introduced to who she is, and why 682 wants to kill her. She was interviewed in 1996, saying that there's another universe out there called the Outer World, which is simply our own reality. Spencerula, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name right, kept these two realities together, and if she dies, the link will be broken, and their universe would be in shambles. That's mainly 682's goal throughout the movie, destroying reality in general, and the source of the link. But there's still one question. What makes the other SCPs that escape together with him change their mind? Larry then comes in, but the guards try to kill him, to which Larry doesn't fall. Logan then asks Larry what does he want, to which Larry says, answering your question, joined by 049 and 035, stating that they come in peace. Then everybody holds their fire to let them speak. Now, the reason why all the other SCPs had a change of heart is because they want to live too, since their reality is also their reality too. And just like them, they don't want it to be destroyed, and also acknowledging 682's plan in the first place. We're then treated to a flashback to the SCPs in the grassy field. 049 asks 682 what the next plan is, to which 682 replies with, erasing this ugly world. What else? 049 and 682 have a fight about this goal, with 049 stating that it's 682's goal and not theirs, making it clear that he doesn't want to cooperate, and that begins the fight in Precio. Although that doesn't really explain how 079 got a body and 070 and 076 changed outfits. Maybe I'm thinking a little too much. Anyways, the only two other SCPs that still agreed with him are 079 and 939, with 079 being dead. Bright then asks them how did they escape their containment cells, since 001 and 682 were the only other SCPs that escaped at the time. To which they say that it was Logan that let them out. Logan tries to lie his way out by saying that he didn't do it, but then 049 says that he did. At first Logan is reprimanded by this, but Larry says that it was the right thing to do. And without them, there would be literally no way to stop 682 since the nuke from before made him stronger. They thank Logan, but Logan then says that it was 990 who told him about the idea. But they did say that without him, there would have been no one who came up with the idea in the first place. To which he is then prompted by saving the universe. To which Larry is then told to get the other SCPs. To which he does. And now all they can do is wait. Then all the other SCPs are then transported via aircraft to Area 01. This is where they begin to prepare for the final battle, and they use radar to detect if 682 is coming. Spencerula then tells Logan that he's coming, reassuring her that they're doing their best. But it's not 682, she says. Something more powerful than anything that exists in the reality. We then see Lucas and Abel also training for the fight, with Lucas saying that being in this place is better than being on the outside, since he doesn't have any friends in his life, and that being locked up with your friends is better than being free without anyone. Then his sister Iris comes in and is shocked to find Lucas here, to which Iris immediately embraces Lucas. Lucas then asks Iris what's wrong and that he can sense it. Iris in tears then says that their parents died in a car crash yesterday, and she was scared that she was going to lose her brother too. It's now day 3, and Logan and Alana then work on an experiment on a small chip that, if surgically implanted, could disable 096's hostile behavior. And after 9 failed attempts, it finally worked. We then see, later that night, Abel looking over the sky. Iris then joins Abel and sits with him. Abel says that he hasn't seen the moon in 7 years, and asks Iris why she hasn't been sleeping. Iris says that it's because of her parents. Abel then tells Iris that nothing lasts forever, and that everything will meet its end, no matter how much time it will take. Iris then asks Abel about his immortality, but Abel then replies with, "Who knows? There might be one day where I died and not come back from my coffin. If he wins, then this will be the last time I will look at the sky." On the morning of the 4th day, it begins. 682 is heading straight towards Area 01 from the east. Everybody gets word of this from Marshall, and they all get ready to fight 682. As 682 arrives from the ocean, everybody gets ready. Tanks, guns, and the SCPs come too. Can I shout out to Dawn for making this incredible animation of all the SCPs running to the shore? Like seriously, especially when Abel joins his brother while running to the shore. I just really like this so much. Anyways, so the SCPs meet up with 682 in the east, while 2662, 811, and 070 stay far. Then after talking with 682 about the final round, Lucas then detects danger. Not from 682, since he's not attacking, but from tentacles of SCP-610 that are about to ensnare the other SCPs and drag him into the ground. Lucas can't save all of them because some of them are too heavy or can't be touched, so he only saves 2 of them, those being Kane and Abel. We then cut to Sandra with a bunch of mobile task forces that begin to eliminate multiple 610 instances originating from another side, with his 2 friends from before also helping in killing more instances. Lucas thinks that they should help them, as there's too many of them and they can't fight all of them. Abel then asks about their friends, with Lucas saying that they can handle themselves. The 610 tentacles are proven to be resilient to damage, and regenerate pretty quick. That is until 2662 pulls out the original source, freeing the guys, and then they kill the flesh guy together. Meanwhile, Abel is seen kicking some 610 ass, slicing, dicing, punching, flying into the sky. Really badass animation, I will admit. His brother Kane, on the other hand, is simply using his reflective properties for his attacks, to which Abel calls him out as cheating, but Kane brags about it even though that's part of his curse. 682 still thinks they're stuck, and lets 939 go. Kane and Abel watch more 610 instances getting destroyed, and find out that the other SCPs from before are safe and they're here. And with everybody together, staying together is going to be their way of fighting back. Back to Logan, they think that they're okay, but outside of the room, a 939 instance comes in and attacks a guard. The guard screams in utter fear and begs Logan and the others to let him in. They're unsure about it at first, but Logan eventually is tempted to do it. Only to get tricked. Meanwhile, we are shown even more badass animation of all the SCPs fighting each 6-1 instance on their own. Then, while a plane is flying by, a fucking worm emerges from the ground, and 179 and 070 save the guy's ass. Then they release 096 from a plane to kill the giant worm. He breaks out and kills the giant worm, but because of the chip, 096, and also 173, have their hostilities disabled, so they only attack the bad guys. Meanwhile, back at Logan once again, 939 tries to kill Alana, but ends up getting killed by Spencerula instead. Spencerula is now weakened, saying that this is not like her before, her power has been drained, and already has a feeling that he's already winning. Back at the battlefield, 096 kills several 610 instances in all anime style, and then everybody is informed to send backup immediately and head to the east as all the guards there are dead and 682 is there. 682 is now seen in the east, he killed all the MTFs on the east, and gets confronted by Abel. He says that they are indeed weak, and says that if he wants to feel strong, they should be the ones he should deal with. It's also said here that 682 used the giant worm to distract them to continue his plan, laughing evilly at everybody, and says that they are too late. That is until Larry does this. He brings back 682 along with everybody else to his pocket dimension. That way they can all kill him for good. And this is it. The final battle, guys. Shit's gonna get crazy very quick. So all the SCPs graciously fight like absolute hell against 682 as he fights back. Eventually, 811 paralyzes 682 by damaging his brain just enough so he can't control his body anymore. 682 is then pinned to the ground with swords and is shot in the head with a rifle by Larry. Finally, the day is saved, and the SCPs have won. .682 begins to die slowly, wishing to attack Larry if he could still move, which he can't, and admits that he has finally lost the battle. 035 then kicks 682's dead body, hoping that he burns in hell along with 079, with 049 saying that machines don't have souls. Then 682 hears about this, and is devastated to find out that 079, his friend, is now gone. Unfortunately, this brings 682 back from the dead, and he ends up striking Larry in the shoulder with his tongue, bringing everybody back to the real world they're in. 070 then realizes in horror that 682 can regenerate himself again. Larry is severely hurt. Abel then tries to kill 682 but ends up getting killed and heads straight to the lab, and without any mercy, impales 2662's eye and Iris's hand while trying to stop him. And now, it's too late.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
682 then grabs Spencerula and then tries to eat her, before being stopped by 096. 096 forces 682's mouth wide open, but ends up getting impaled and thrown into the ocean. And then... they... fail. Spencerula has been killed, and 682 finally accomplished his goal. Then, one by one, everybody begins to disappear. The battle has lost. Reality is lost. Everything is lost. They failed. It's the end of reality! You're still here. What are you doing here? Waiting for a new part? It's over. They won. Just kidding. Of course I won't leave the series this way. So, yeah. Let's change the ending. 096 forces 682's mouth wide open, but ends up getting impaled and thrown into the ocean. And then 682 begins laughing. He doesn't understand what's going on. That is until 035 notices something by one of 682's legs. SCP-999! We find out from Lucas that 999 actually came on board with him. And now with 682 distracted from laughter, 179 then says that this is their chance and frees Bensayula from getting eaten. 035 paralyzes 682 with his tentacles, and then 049 does this. .682 is finally defeated, and his parts are placed into containment immediately. However, for 049, he's unconscious, not breathing, not moving, no heartbeat. He's gone. Essentially, he sacrificed himself to save our reality. We see all the other surviving SCPs, some of which are critically injured. One month later, we arrive at Site-32, and we see Dr. Logan Bristow in his new office. He narrates to himself about that it's been a month since 682 was finally contained, and everything is going fine. However, he can't help but think about the guilt he felt about what he did to Site-19. He wonders about if the O5 Council would find out about this, and that he would be a dead man for sure. Even though he knows that what he did was actually for the best, saving the universe by breaching all those guys. We then learn that Site-32 is the new largest site after Site-19's destruction, and that all the SCPs that were contained in Site-19 were moved there. Although not all of them actually, as 4 of them are still yet to be found. The rest, on the other hand, are doing fine, going back to their typical lives in their containment cells and current locations. However, 2 of them are dead, as 076 is still reforming from his coffin and 049 is now classified as neutralized. Lucas now works with the Foundation, and all information about Precio has been erased from the world, still keeping the Foundation's existence unknown to the public. However, Logan is still unsure about this being the end, as there must be something or someone behind all of this. Alana then asks Logan what happened. Logan says that it's nothing, and they both agree to go grab some coffee. Logan then walks with Alana to the cafeteria, and in his mind, he says that all he can do is hope and pray for a better future. We then see the credits, and all the characters we've seen. The scientists, the guards, the SCPs, the gods, the villains, and finally, the end. We then see a few post-credit scenes. The first one has 682 confronted by the Scarlet King and the other gods. And now it's up to the gods to end reality once and for all. For about 43 days, 682 was asleep and was placed back into his containment cell, which eventually fills with acid. And here we are, back at 990. 049 meets the Dream Man, sits by him, and is complimented for his actions to save reality. Though 990 then adds that his tasks in this world are not over yet. And to finally be at rest, he needs to wake up and finish those tasks first. On August 1st of 2020, a new video by Don Jendens would be released, this being a sequel series to SCP The End Is Near called SCP End of Civilization, revealing the characters from before as well as some new characters and redesigns. I'm actually curious, I wonder what these redesigns look like. Hold on. Okay, that's one hell of an improvement of an animation redesign. So yeah, Season 2 would have a completely different art style, animation, and even voice acting, as evident by the trailer released on August 23rd of 2020. The animation for Flip-A-Clip standards is incredibly high quality and very close to an anime art style, especially considering the fact that the first season had a much more simplistic art style than the second season does. Also yeah, the art style is pretty close to a certain anime you might be thinking of, but I don't know about making a joke like that in 2026 because Don wasn't too happy about it. Anyways, the animations would be much more high quality, although they would take longer to produce. Episode 1 came out on September 28th of 2020, Episode 2 will come out on January 18th, 2021, and 3 on November 17th, 2021. Yeah, episode production took a really long time to make, and unfortunately, Episode 4 would never be produced. We'll get to why later. Episode 1 reintroduces us to the main characters, as well as an introduction to Site-32, the largest Foundation facility current in operation. This is where we're also reintroduced to Logan, Barry, and Alana.
Give me back my phone! Alana!
Aw, come on. I just want to see your chat history. That's all.
It starts off with Alana being kind of a creep over Barry's text messages.
Shut up!
Meanwhile, Logan is having flashbacks to what he did back in Site-19, to which the three have a minor conversation about the incident, with Alana almost revealing that it was them who destroyed Site-19.
Aw, come on. No one will ever know that we were the ones who did.
Logan then decides to leave and tells them that he'll be fine, being still so paranoid about this that he ends up having a minor panic attack when someone grabs him by the shoulder, only revealed to just be Barry giving him his wallet.
You forgot your wallet on the table.
Meanwhile, someone who's looking over the surveillance notices Logan Bristow and gets the information from a small robot that scans Logan by the back of the head. This might possibly be the O5 Council finding out what Logan did to Site-19, but that's my guess only. And then Logan just goes back to work. In Episode 2, we learn about who Logan is. He's a 25-year-old researcher at the SCP Foundation and had a normal childhood life growing up. He lived in a small place in California and hanged out with his friends and family. However, at the age of 10, his life would eventually go downhill as his father was arrested, his brother ran away, and his mother would pass away from a brain tumor. She would randomly disappear from her bedroom, presumably it's already passed, and Logan would run into the street and call for help. But everybody where he lived at disappeared without a trace. He was then taken to the SCP Foundation because of this bizarre phenomenon and was raised there. And at the age of 18, he would begin to work at the Foundation. Although it's still unknown why he was the only person in that place of California that never disappeared, and even still to this day.
Hello, Logan. Here's the document I asked for.
Hello, Kawaii Lucas. So yeah, this episode reintroduces us to Lucas, who is also working at the Foundation now. He then asks Logan what happened to Site-179. Logan says no and asks why he's asking him that. Lucas then says to Logan that he's been trying to ask them for an important file nearly a week ago, but he hasn't gotten a response. Lucas even said that yesterday he tried to ask them where the files are, but it says he cannot reach any messages to them. Logan believes it's some sort of connection error, but the truth is actually far darker than you might think. We jump back to 2 days ago, where we see Site-179 located in Antarctica, where SCP-2317 is located at. The guards hear an unknown noise, and when lunch break rolls, 2 guards are found brutally mutilated, causing a containment breach to be announced. When they arrive at 2317, they expect the worst, only for a small blue butterfly to come out through the door. That unexpectedly kills them. Scarlet King breaks out, flies out of the room, and begins to plan his attempt at world domination. Then 179 hears about this, returns to Earth to confront the Scarlet King, only unfortunately to be ended up getting killed off, and 049 waking up from his coma. Presumably by 179. It's noted that the Scarlet King most likely did this as she was one of the people who saved those people back at Precio, as well as Spencella. Although whether she really did survive that or not throughout the series, we may never know. The final episode of the series, episode 3, begins with Alana accusing Barry of stealing her blueberry muffin that she was dying to wait for, even going as so far as punching the dude in front of Logan. Over a fucking muffin! Noticing her crush, Logan, she basically manipulates him into getting another blueberry muffin for her, and we also find out that she actually ate her own blueberry muffin before she accused Barry of stealing it.
Oh, how cute. They don't have the slightest idea that I was actually the one who ate mine. One more muffin on the way.
What? Your life depends on a single muffin.
Yes.
Basically a textbook case of bitch be crazy disease.
Lockdown time! Members of the Chaos Insurgency break into Site-32, and one of them holds Alana hostage, asking where Jack Bright is. Barry replies that he doesn't know, and the Chaos Insurgency guy accuses him of lying. Alana doesn't answer the question either, and just as when the guy tries to pull the trigger on her, he ends up getting killed by Lucas. Turns out Alana actually texted Lucas while she was being held hostage, and Lucas came to save the day. Then they tell Lucas to try to find Logan and Dr. Bright.
Alright.
We then cut to Marshall standing outside of an open door, saying that he recognizes the members of the Chaos Insurgency, but not the hooded figures that are joined with them. The hooded figures disappear, and using a smoke grenade, he ends up killing the Chaos Insurgency members with a knife. After getting lost in the halls and nearly killed by 2 members of the CI, he then hears someone walking towards him, only to find his arch enemy.
Yes, it's I, Ivan Javal, in case you somehow forget my name.
How could I? You literally blinded my left eye 3 years ago.
Marshall asks Ivan what he's doing here, to which Ivan replies that they're doing it for a cult, and without any ammo, the two begin to fight with blades. Ivan is not only extremely adept in combat, although he's often able to show off superhuman abilities, as Ivan is also clearly going for Marshall's other eye. The fight progresses with Marshall stabbing Ivan in the neck, and Ivan breaking Marshall's helmet and some of his ribs. After shooting Marshall in the chest, it seems like that Marshall is about to be finished off. That is, until...
Here goes nothing!
What? What are you trying to do? Actually, let me see what this book's about. Not that you can move anyway. Oh, it's just a boring disease encyclopedia. Why am I feeling...
That must be a very painful headache, eh?
Marshall uses SCP-1025 to finish off Ivan by giving him a brain tumor. Ivan nearly tries to kill Marshall by pulling the trigger, but fails. Marshall then says that bringing the book was a good idea, bringing it with him when the Chaos Insurgency broke in, and the CCTV cameras were turned off. He knew that Ivan was coming to the Foundation, and he had no match for him. And just before he puts it back...
The site is officially cleared from the Chaos Insurgents. Some SCPs have been stolen from the site. They are SCP-2662, SCP-105-B, SCP-999, SCP-191, and a piece of SCP-682 skin tissue. How they did it is still currently unknown. Dr. Jack Bright is also nowhere to be seen, presumably kidnapped by the Chaos Insurgents. All personnel are safe to come out. Further details will be announced soon.
No, I'm sure it's not mainly the Chaos Surgeons this time. There is another group. The Chaos Insurgents are just helping those hooded figures to get in and steal the anomalies. Who could they be? I must inform the O5 immediately.
And that's how the series ends. Just on a cliffhanger. Now let's get to the cancellation. Teasers for episode 4 would be made sometime after the third episode, but episode 4 would end up just being scrapped, leaving a bunch of comments questioning what happened to the series for a few years, until eventually on February 10th, 2026, a video by Don would eventually be uploaded, where he not only confirms the cancellation of the series, but even says that the series was not supposed to exist in the first place, being only supposed to exist as a trailer made for fun. Since he was the only animator for the series, attending university in 2021 also made episode progression longer, alongside other things such as how silly the series was, how corny the dialogue was, and even out of a bit of guilt, and one of the main reasons he did it was his inaccurate portrayal of the SCPs.
And lastly, and this is probably the biggest reason, I started feeling really bad about how inaccurately I portrayed the SCPs. Yeah, I genuinely felt like I was disrespecting the source material and their authors by portraying them the way I did. And once I fully realized of these problems, that's when I made the decision to discontinue the series.
That I want to actually talk about briefly. And yeah, he probably does know this by now because, well, there was a comment from one of his videos that talked about it, but I want to also briefly talk about it here too. The only canon in SCP is from the actual SCP articles themselves, which can leave a bunch of people to leave their own interpretations of those SCP characters outside of the documents. Like me! That's what tales from the SCP Foundation are for. And yeah, I do understand that you might feel like you're disrespecting other people's properties in the way that you did, but in all honesty, it was actually still in a way that was actually pretty well written. Let's take SCP-076 for an example. One thing that people had a critique about the original document for 076 was that people see him more as just an edgelord without any place in the SCP universe. However, various authors from the SCP Wiki have been given him a bit of character in various kinds of tales. One tale in particular I really would like to bring up is the story Maybe God Will Forgive You If We Both Beg. In this tale, 076's brother, 073, who are both based off the biblical tale of Cain and Abel, finally agrees to meet with his brother. And after failing to get into a conversation multiple times, 076 then finally asks his brother why he came and why he killed him all those years ago. Cain then responds that he was a young and foolish man, and that he still loves his brother no matter what. Abel finally found it within himself to forgive Cain, and they both crumble to dust, being at peace at last. This tale is a good example of how you can make a character a character. And the Rubber decides to fuck it all up. The Rubber made a video based off of the two some time ago, whereas in this video absolutely shits all over the original tale by making Abel still an edgelord with no character and not forgiving his brother. Not even hugging him in the end either. Basically shitting on a tale that actually gave 076 a character, which was the main reason why 076's original document was criticized since he didn't have any. Back to the End is Near, 076 is given a character, aside from him being just randomly chill with his brother, especially in part 12. Specifically the scene where he tells Iris that nothing lasts forever, such as him saying that maybe there could be one day where he will never come back. That is how you can also make an SCP a character. The Rubber did it poorly. Don Jenkins did it decently. Again, it's absolutely alright to have your own interpretation of an SCP, if it's actually well written or at the very least decent. Anyways, the new series that Don has created is called SCP Wonders of the World, and it's basically like that, an introductory to an SCP in a documentary style. And it's actually pretty good, I recommend giving it a watch. Anyways, let's conclude the video here. In conclusion, both of these series by Don are one hell of a watch, and as silly as it was and how unfortunate it was cancelled, I still say it's one of the greatest online series I've seen. It's a unique adaptation of the SCP universe, and although it's cancelled, it still gives Don a new opportunity to make more projects for the future. As this was also the case for me and a lot of other people too. And as the old saying goes, as one door closes, another one opens.
Dad, my new friends are coming over.
Let's make them feel welcome. The universe is collapsing, and we must unite to prevent the end of existence as we know it. What? Don't fuck this up, Dad!